Funny how people unsubscribe from your life without notice. One day they swear forever, the next they're gone. But hey, if you're here, hit subscribe. It's free, unlike loyalty. Our 10th wedding anniversary was meant to be a joyous occasion, a celebration of love, trust, and the journey my husband and I had built together. The evening started beautifully, with close friends and family gathered in our home, laughter filling the air, and warm memories being made. But the night took an unsettling turn when Amanda, my sister-in-law's best friend, arrived. Amanda had always been a little too friendly with my husband, but I had never given it much thought, until now. The moment she stepped through the door, she smirked at me before making a direct beeline for him. I tried to brush it off, determined to enjoy the night, but I couldn't ignore the way she draped herself around him. She laughed a little too hard at his jokes, her eyes burning with an intent I couldn't ignore. Then I overheard her whispering to him, suggesting they step outside for some fresh air. My husband politely declined, his discomfort evident, yet Amanda persisted. Throughout the night, she found ways to stay close to him, stroking his arm, urging him to dance, even offering to help clean up long after most guests had left. Despite the tension growing inside me, I held on to one truth: I trusted my husband. And he proved that trust was well placed. When Amanda finally crossed the line with a snide remark about our marriage, he shut her down firmly. His words left no room for doubt. He was happily married, and her advances were unwelcome. Amanda eventually left, but her presence had left a bitter stain on what should have been a perfect night. As my husband and I sat together, reflecting on what had happened, we reassured each other of our love and loyalty. If anything, the ordeal only strengthened our bond. The next morning, I decided to confront my sister-in-law, hoping to address Amanda's behavior without unnecessary drama. Her reaction was one of pure shock and remorse. She had no idea Amanda had acted so shamelessly and vowed to speak with her. I could see the sincerity in her apology, but deep down, I knew this wasn't over yet. Knowing that my sister-in-law was firmly on my side gave me a sense of relief. It also helped that my husband had been nothing but supportive and faithful through the entire ordeal. After our conversation, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Amanda's behavior wasn't my burden to carry, and I realized just how strong my marriage truly was. If anything, her antics had only deepened my appreciation for my husband. Even when faced with temptation, he had remained unwavering in his love and honesty. Then came the first update. My sister-in-law called to share the details of her confrontation with Amanda. She had directly challenged her about her behavior at the anniversary party, refusing to let it slide. At first, Amanda was defensive, but eventually she muttered an apology. My sister-in-law, however, was furious. She made it clear that Amanda's actions had been completely unacceptable and that she would not tolerate anyone disrespecting her family. I could hear the frustration in her voice, and though I appreciated her loyalty, I couldn't shake a lingering sadness. Amanda had been a lifelong friend to her, but after this, their relationship would never be the same. Still, at the end of the day, my husband and I were what mattered most. Amanda had tried to stir chaos, but she had only succeeded in reinforcing the bond between us. She had learned her lesson the hard way. Then came the second update. A few weeks passed and life gradually returned to normal. My sister-in-law kept her distance from Amanda, and my husband and I settled back into our usual routine. The entire ordeal was fading into the past. Or so I thought. One afternoon, I received an unexpected message from Amanda. For a moment, I thought it might be a genuine apology, perhaps she had reflected on her actions. But as I opened it, my stomach twisted. I'm sorry for what happened at your anniversary party, she wrote. But honestly, you're not much of a catch. Your husband probably settled for you because he couldn't do better. You should be grateful that I expressed an interest in him. I froze. My breath caught in my throat as I read and reread her words. The sheer cruelty, the venom dripping from her message, it was beyond anything I had expected. Amanda hadn't just failed to take responsibility, she had doubled down in the most vile way possible. I showed the message to my husband, and the fury in his eyes was immediate. He was just as shocked as I was. Amanda wasn't done causing trouble, but she had just made her final mistake. Furious as I was, my husband was just as shocked. He couldn't believe Amanda would stoop so low, and he was grateful that she was no longer a part of his life. Although her message had deeply hurt me, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of sadness for her. It was clear that her bitterness came from a place of insecurity and unhappiness. Her words were less about me and more about the struggles she carried within herself. So instead of responding with anger or defensiveness, I chose a different approach. I appreciate your apology, Amanda, I replied. And I understand that your upbringing must have been difficult, with parents who showed you no love or affection. It's no surprise that you struggle with jealousy and insecurity in your relationships. I knew my words would cut deep, but there was a strange sense of peace in knowing that I had taken control of the situation, not through hostility but through truth. But you're wrong about one thing, I added. My husband didn't settle for me. He chose me because he loves me just as I am, flaws and all. And that's something you will never understand because you are too busy tearing others down to make yourself feel better. With that, I hit send. A wave of relief washed over me. Maybe it wasn't the most mature response, but it was honest. And most importantly, it closed the chapter. Amanda's words did not define me. They did not define my marriage. My husband and I were happy, strong, and in love. And no one, not even Amanda, could change that. As for Amanda, I was ready to let her go. She was no longer a part of our lives, and I had no desire to hold on to any bitterness. Instead, I chose to focus on the people who truly mattered, the ones who loved and supported us. Does this story resonate with you? Have you ever dealt with someone like Amanda? Someone who tried to create chaos in your life out of their own insecurities? How did you handle it? This story teaches us an important lesson. Real love withstands tests, and true loyalty speaks louder than temptation. Insecure people will always try to bring others down, but their words and actions only have power if we let them. If this story resonated with you, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.